Okay, today's lesson is 7.3, multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Now remember from our last lesson that a rational expression is a fraction whose numerator and denominator are non-zero polynomials. And that means it won't be in simplified form unless its numerator and denominator have no common factors other than 1 or negative 1. Now keep in mind that a factor is different from a term. Terms are those things, expressions separated by plus or minus. So our chapter theme, this right here is a rational expression. That's what we're doing, rational function. Okay, each of these is a term because they are separated by a plus or a minus. You may not do this if you do every time a kitten dies. And that would be so sad. So let's look at what we have. So looking at this first problem, we have 84x squared over 77x to the fourth. Okay, y'all, you've done this before, so keep in mind there are no plus or minus in this, so it's just straight up simplifying. 84 and 77 have a common factor of 7, and there are more x's on the bottom, so how many more? There are 2 more, so I would generally, if I'm doing the work, would do that. And my answer is going to be 12 over 11 because 84 divided by 7 is 12. 77 divided by 7 is 11. Okay, this particular part B, all right, that expression is what we call a complex fraction. So that bar in the middle, if you remember, means division. And whenever we divide fractions, we keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep the first one, 3 over 2x squared. I'm going to change my operation to multiplication, and I'm going to flip the last one. And anything with the top cancels with anything in the bottom. So in this particular one, the only one we have in common is an x squared on the top and the bottom, leaving us with 21 over 20. Because when we multiply fractions, remember y'all, you just multiply straight across. Okay? So brings me to the next one, multiplying straight across here. Okay, anything with the top can cancel with anything in the bottom. So 2 times 4 is 8, so that goes away. Then when I'm looking at my x's, I have 7 on top and 1 on the bottom, and which is going to leave me 6 on top. And I have 4 y's on top, or you could look at this. Y squared and y is y cubed. There's a y cubed, so I only have y on top. So we had 6 x's and a 1y, and then of course only the 7 left. Okay, the next, which is going to be mostly what we're doing in here, is when it's a more advanced polynomial in that we have addition and subtraction. Okay, and as I said in the beginning, you can only cancel out or divide out by common factors. So this is all about factoring. This lesson is not about how to factor, so my factoring will be very quick. So what I did say is anything on the top will cancel with anything on the bottom. So when I have my first term, let me see, where am I? There we go. All right, so when I'm looking at 3x minus 3x squared, they have a common factor of 3x, so that leaves me with 1 minus x. Then I'm going to go across. It doesn't matter if you go across or go down. X squared plus x minus 20 is going to factor to x plus 5 and x minus 4. And on the bottom, I have x squared plus 4x minus 5. That factors to x plus 5 times x minus 1. And I still have my 3x. So to simplify that, I have 3x on the top and the bottom. I have x plus 5 on the top and the bottom. And when you look at these two that are left here, y'all, you've got 1 minus x and x minus 1. Okay? Those are the same, except for they're opposites of each other. If you think of 5 minus 3 is 2, and 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So when you change the order of what you're subtracting, the only difference is a negative sign. So these are the same factor, but when you cancel them out, if you want to, then you've got to put a negative 1 somewhere. So my next step says negative x minus 4, and I don't like to leave the parentheses in it, so I'm going to go ahead and reverse that and make it 4 minus x. You can write negative x plus 4, That is fine. The reason I do it like that is kind of just to help me get this concept in my brain. Okay, example 4. I have x plus 2 over x cubed minus 27. And then we have one that's not a fraction. So all you have to do is remember that any fraction can be written as a polynomial, or excuse me, anything can be written as a fraction by putting it over 1. So this particular one, we're going to, I'm going to go ahead and start with the bottom. That's perfect cubes that we did a while back. So that's cube root of the first, cube root of x cubed is x, cube root of 27 is 3. And then you square the first term, change the sign. This is SOAP, y'all, that we've done before. Multiply them together and then square the last one. And then I'm going to have x plus 2 on the top, and then that one that's already there that cannot be factored. So I have a common factor on the top and the bottom, leaving me with just x plus 2 over x minus 3. All right, back to division, okay? Just dividing two polynomials. Remember, we know that we've got to keep, change, flip because I have a division here. So when I do my factoring, there we go. So anything on the top stays on the top. So if I start with this first fraction, rational expression, 7x is on the top. I have a common 2, which becomes x minus 5. Then I'm going to flip the second one. So when I look to factor this, x squared minus 11x plus 30, that's going to go on top. So that's x minus 6, x minus 5. And on top goes on bottom. So that is x times x minus 6. And again, common factor on the top and the bottom, top and the bottom. I have an x and an x, so my answer is going to be 7/2. Okay, 2 more, we're done. So this one, again, you want to remember to keep, change, flip. And so I have, not that, my bad. All right, come on, there we go. So when I factor 6x squared plus x minus 15, that's a little challenging to factor, y'all. So I'm going to show you these problems are a little bit contrived and help you with your factoring. So I'm actually going to start on the bottom. I'm going to put that 4x squared down there. And then this guy, remember, he is over 1. So when I factor him, he's going to go on the bottom. So this is really over 1. So the 1 would be on top, but then when I multiply, this is easy to factor. So it has a common factor of x, and I'm left with 3x plus 5. And the reason I tell you that is because I'm going to use that to start with my factoring on top, because the only way this is going to simplify is if this is one of the factors of that right there. So when I do, I'm kind of backing into this factoring. 3x times what is 6x squared? It's 2x. And 5 times what is 15, and that's 3. So that is one way to keep your factoring a little bit easier. And that, of course, leaves us with 2x minus 3 over 4x cubed. All right, last problem. It's a doozy. So when you look at this long thing that we have here, okay, I'm going to look at it again and notice that I have to keep, change, flip. But each of these, whenever I have a common factor, I kind of write on top of it. And so this first term, x cubed minus 64x, has a common factor of x, leaving me with x squared minus 64. When I keep going across the top, there's a common factor of 2, leaving me with x squared minus 3x minus 10. On the bottom, x cubed minus 13x squared plus 40x has a common factor of x, leaving me with x squared minus 13x plus 40. And then again, I have another common factor. I actually have a common factor of 2x here, leaving me with x squared plus 4x minus 32. So to continue that factoring, all right, I went to the bottom here. X times, that becomes x minus 5x minus 8. I still have my 2x, and then it's x plus 4x minus 8. On the top, that's the difference of 2 squares. And then 2 times x minus 3x plus 2. I'm going to keep, change, flip. So my x squared minus 16 is going to be x minus 4, x plus 4 on top. And the top is going to become factored on the bottom. So when I look at that, I've got, that's 2x right there. X minus 8, x plus 8, x minus 5, x plus 2, x plus 4, x minus 4. What do I have left? It looks like I only have this guy right here left. So my answer is, all right, y'all, this is a common mistake. That x is in the bottom. He has to stay in the bottom. Okay? So keep that in mind. Your answer is 1 over x. And that is all. Thank you so much for watching. And y'all have a great day.